What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So in this video, I want to talk about something that happened very recently involving Brittany Renner going to Jackson State University to speak to a group of football players by request of Deion Sanders. And first and foremost, I just want to say, you know, the finesse continues. The finesse continues. um, But I do just want to kind of just give my general thoughts and opinions about this situation. And also, I do have an article that I'll sort of skim through and talk about as well. It's not too long, it's pretty short and straight to the point. Um, the title of this article is Deion Sanders says he'd be $20 million richer if he had Brittany Renner's advice at Florida State. And for those of you who don't know about this, Brittany Renner was contacted by Deion Sanders to come speak to his students who are athletes, football players, about basically avoiding getting finesse, avoiding getting caught up with like groupies, and getting got for child support and getting got for they bag, right? While Brittany Renner is simultaneously getting a bag from teaching these dudes how to protect a bag and not get finessed. Yeah. At this point, I just gotta start calling Brittany Renner Brittany Jenner because she belongs in the Jenner Kardashian clan at this point because she is making a name for herself out in these streets. All right, she gonna be the next Jenner Kardashian. But she came to this university and she spoke. And the thing is, the things that she was speaking about, like Deion Sanders had asked her if she, like, pretty much to kind of just give them a run through of kind of like what happens when guys be trying to get in her DMs, you know. Um, and it was pretty general. She didn't go into like specifics part of the finesse. And she's protecting that because Brittany Renner, she is still active out in these streets. She's still trying to get dudes and get the bag too, so she can't give away all the secrets, right? She can't give away the secrets or else the dudes are going to be hip to her. But I feel like she probably could still get away with it though, because some of these dudes are just kind of like slow to the uptake, like because Brittany Renner already put it out there in the book, right, and been really open about you know what's she about, how she get down, what's she after, all that sort of a thing. Um, but yeah, she was pretty basic and pretty general about kind of like the process that she goes through to finesse dudes, right? Saying, everybody wants something. True, don't we all? Um, she got her DMs is like a Nike store. She got nothing but check marks, blue check marks, heavy hitters, your favorite rappers, your favorite athletes trying to get at Brittany. And probably true. I'm sure, you probably got Drake up in there somewhere. Probably got, you know, LeBron James up in there somewhere too. Probably. Probably. But I want to skim through this article right quick and just give me some general thoughts and opinions about this. So this article says Deion Sanders believes Brittany Renner's advice to the Jackson State football team could be worth millions. No, it's not. The thing is, the advice that she was given, based on what I heard, was pretty general. I mean, I could have came in there and told you that. I mean, I probably would not have been received like Brittany was received. That's the thing too. They acting like dang on Beyonce done walked in the room because they clapping and cheering, you know. And I'm like, don't y'all guys know what Brittany Jenner is about? You know, she on that Jenner Kardashian thing, and that's cool if you down with that. But I guess it just speaks to how slow these dudes are to the uptake still, right? But yeah, they cheering like they done saw Beyonce walk in the room or something though. You know, like y'all don't know who she is and what she's about. You know, and I'm sure they were taking notes. I'm sure they were taking notes, making sure to write down her Instagram handle too. Like, yes, that's what was that again? Brittany Renner, Brittany the Finessed. Brittany, get your bag, Renner. What was that? What was that again? But let me continue on reading this article though. So, on his podcast, 21st in Prime, Deion Sanders said he'd be much richer if he had the star Instagram model's advice when he was in college at Florida State. All right. Some of this is common sense, especially if you have seen this play out again and again in the media, especially at this point now that we have social media and that things can be very much instant. Now, in Deion's case, it was a different time, but still, you know, still though, you shouldn't. I don't know. I don't. Maybe I'm just. Maybe it's something just me. Quote unquote. This is Deion. Quote unquote. Let me tell you something. If I had her in my ear, Sanders says, if I had been sitting in that room at Florida State and I had her come and lay it out like she laid it out, if I would have had that, I would be at least $20 million richer. And some people speculating that Deion Sanders called Brittany down there to speak because he liked Brittany. He low-key want to get at Brittany too. Possibly. Maybe. I'm pretty sure Brittany Renner's looks played a part in it as well. Brittany Renner, she not dumb. She know what's up. That's why she dressed the way that she dressed when she came into the room too. That's part of the finesse right there. Brittany Jenner ain't got no shame. Brittany Kardashian. But hopefully, Brittany Renner, it don't seem like she gonna be ending up like Khloe Kardashian though, because she know, like Khloe Kardashian, she done kind of got, caught up in her game, and she got, caught feelings for Tristan or something, But that's another story. Let's get back to this story. Quote unquote, oh really? Brittany Renner responded, who was a guest on the show. And he says, yeah, because of the game, Sanderson. Because everything she elaborated on would have been more, I would have been more prepared for the game of life. I was prepared for the game of football, but not that other game. Because I was so locked in. And then I construed what love in some women were. If I would have had that, I promise you at least $20 million richer because of the divorces, the lawyer fees, all the bull junk that I've gone through as a man. So basically, Deion Sanders, he done got one way or another. And he's trying to make sure that, the young dudes that he's like coaching and perhaps mentoring don't get caught up in that game too. But the thing is, though, I feel like the dudes who are gonna get caught up, and the dudes who ain't are not gonna get caught up, right? Because I think sometimes some people, in this case, these dudes, may think that they're special and that they're the exception to the rule and that it's not going to happen to them. Like, oh, I ain't going to get got. I ain't going to be paying out child support like him. I ain't going to be paying alimony. I ain't going to be getting got for my bag. Right? And for some, it may be true, but for others, not so much, right? This is like more or less like the dude equivalent of like that woman who's messing around with a dude who got like 3 or 4 baby mamas already. And like, oh, it ain't gonna be me. Oh, I'm gonna be getting married and we gonna be having a family. And then she end up baby mama number 4 or 5. Right? So it's kind of like the dude equivalent of that. Right. So the article goes on to say, this is from Deion Sanders. I don't want my players, my sons, my coaches, everybody that was in there. Equipment men, equipment women. I don't want them to go through that, he said. That's why she told them the God's honest truth. So helpful. She was very vulnerable. They saw a side that the public really doesn't see. He hyping up Brittany like she dang on, like she Maya Angelou and Beyonce rolled into one. Because she really has heart. And she really wants love. She really does. I don't know. I'm sure on some level she does want love, but I think at this point now she's just in it for the bag. Again, as I said at the beginning of this video, the finesse continues. Brittany Jenner out here. Brittany Kardashian out here. Brittany Jenner Kardashian. And I'm sure Brittany does know that she probably, like, the thing is, I feel like Brittany Jenner, she kind of knows her demographic when it comes to the dudes who she finesses, right? Or gets with her. Basically, in so many words, she knows that she probably can get the most from black men the easiest because of the way that she looks, her phenotype. Because I feel like if Brittany Renner would have a much harder time doing this to, say, Caucasian athletes or other non-black athletes. I'm not saying that it's impossible or that it would never happen, but I feel like Brittany, she has a much easier time doing all this when it comes to black men. I don't see a white man or a non-black man inviting her to speak to their students, their football players, athletes, what have you, about a subject like this. And even knowing what they know about Brittany, she's still getting like uplifted and put on a pedestal, So I really hope that there are no phenotypically monoracial black women out here trying to cape for any of these dudes that Brittany Renner is with or may get with in the future. But it's always one. There's always one. And I know somebody gonna come through in the comment section and be all like, well, Jackson State University is an HBCU, so of course it's gonna be nothing but brothers up in there. Alright. And true enough, but still, even if this was not a HBCU, it would still be nothing but brothers up in there. Alright. Let's be real. So next I'm going to read a quote from Brittany, and just Brittany kind of, saying some things about love. So here goes Brittany and her finesse. It was definitely a process for me because I realized the love I was searching for was the love I just wasn't giving to myself. Ooh, Brittany, I'm so sorry. Ooh, I tell you, exoticals. Y'all think exoticals just be walking up a crystal staircase, but they got their struggles too. Let's continue. So now that I felt that love that I was chasing after, I'm not just up and leaving a situation or my foundation anymore. Preach it, sister. Preach it, Brittany. But at that time, when you're 21 years old, you're chasing after something you've never seen before in your life. Go ahead, Brittany. So yeah, I was in love. He left school early. He was a couple of years older than me. I followed behind him. I moved to Michigan. Got a regular old job. I was a special needs caregiver, a Zumba instructor, all that jazz and stuff. Brittany Renner is a real strong woman. Tell you, this sister done been through so much, but she persevered. That's a queen right there. Brittany, we rooting for you, Brittany. We are. We know you don't mean no harm, Brittany. Uh, Here, take this bag, Brittany. Take all my money. Renner explained her reaction to the attention the video clips of her speaking with the team received. Quote unquote, people were stunned, Brittany Renner Jenner Kardashian said. They were like, why did he bring her? But they were like, this is genius. Yes, bringing Brittany Renner Kardashian to speak, I mean, it was genius on, I mean, I will say that it is getting some, like, views on social media if that's what you were after, right? But I don't think that was what he was after. But then again, maybe it could have been, but like an ulterior motive type of thing. But you know, perhaps maybe he could bring maybe a dude, you know, a man who kind of like was the victim of a finesse or like a victim of a Brittany, you know, Renner Jenner Kardashian, so to speak, you know. And I know some people take issues with the dudes being called victims, which I understand and I do agree with that. At the end of the day, I don't think like a lot of these dudes are really like quote unquote victims and more like willing participants. Um, and they were also comparing her. Well, they were comparing her to R. Kelly because of that whole situation with her and PJ Washington. But I'm like, some of these same folk who are comparing her to R. Kelly, though, give R. Kelly a pass and, you know, say that his victims knew what was up, even though his victims at the time were teenage girls, right? So, like, you giving R. Kelly the pass, but you ain't giving Brittany Renner the pass. That's something right there. But again, I think it's because of who the victims were, quote unquote. All right, in Brittany Renner's case. Like, R. Kelly's victims were teenage black girls, while Brittany Renner's victim was a young adult named PJ Washington. And I think we seem to have more protection for the young adult male versus the teenage females. Right. But, you know, just another day in Blackistan, right? So this article goes on to say, so honestly, the reaction, it blew my mind. I didn't want to sound surprised, but it was like, Dion, you know, you're the best to do it. All right, so that was the end of the article there. All right. Yeah. And some people saying that Brittany, when she was there, she was scouting for her next come up when she was there. She might have. She might have like, okay, let me keep an eye on, that one over there, that one over there. What's up? All right, I see you. Get at me in a couple of years and we can see where that NFL contract. Let's see what that doing in a couple of years and see what we can do. But there were people saying like, oh, this is embarrassing for Brittany. And I'm like, well, not really. I mean, it's probably not the best look per se. She could probably have a better look. But I mean, it's also embarrassing for like Deion Sanders and these dudes that he's doing this for, you know? And also, I mean, Deion Sanders, he's well known, he's legendary. He could have himself told them what he went through. But I guess maybe he felt like they wouldn't hear it and receive it coming from him. But I'm like, well, I don't really think these dudes are hearing it and receiving it coming from Brittany in some watered down version, dressed in a mini skirt, a pink mini skirt, or like I guess it was like what they call a romper. I don't know. Y'all know what it is though. Dressed the way that she was dressed. It was going in one ear and out the other. Too. Right? But like, shouldn't these well, they're young, but still, shouldn't they parents have put them up on this? Like, they fathers, if they involved in their life, they black fathers that we hear so much about and that are so awesome according to the CDC and that study that folks be misquoting and downright lying about, right? That I did a video about and explaining what that study actually meant, right? What about them awesome black fathers? Why ain't they putting their sons up on the game? Or, perhaps their moms too, you know, they homies, right? But, that just makes too much sense, so they ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna do that. No. But honestly, the main advice that these dudes need to hear is pretty simple, and that's just don't be a wild slave buck on the loose, getting women pregnant here, women pregnant there, getting women pregnant everywhere, and you probably will be able to hang on to a lot of your money, right? And as well, didn't what's his name? Um, Steven Jackson, the former NBA player who was friends with George Floyd. He also has spoke about something like this a while ago and said some pretty good things until he got to the part about blaming and blaming black women for it, right? And insulting black women in the process, right? But he had said something about this too, basically saying, don't be, pretty much getting women pregnant here and there and all over the place. That's pretty simple, right? I mean, for one, it's not good for the community. Not that anyone cares about that. It's not good for the black family structure. Not that anyone cares about that. It's not good for the actual children who are involved in these unions. Not that anyone cares about that. And as well, it's not good for your bank account either because these women, they have access to your bank account in some way or form for 18 years. Okay, we folks concerned about that money now. Everything else I mentioned now. Who cares about all that? Right? But when it comes to the money, though, that's when people are like, oh, okay, let me protect my bag. I mean, you could be getting STDs and STIs too if you're having unprotected sex, which seems to be what's going on here. But no, nothing. Who cares about that? But yeah. So, I think there's enough embarrassment to go around. I don't think it's just purely on Brittany. You know, the way that these dudes were acting, they need to low-key kind of be embarrassed about that too, reacting to Brittany just because she walking in there with legs for days and a BBL and some light skin and some straightened hair, which I don't know. I don't know if that is or not. I know the black women know. Was that Brittany Renner's hair? Real hair? And it don't matter. It really don't matter. It only matters if the woman is unambiguously black. When she like an exotical or racially ambiguous, then it don't matter. But yeah, Brittany Renner, she quick sidebar. She actually attended Jackson State University and played soccer there for a while. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's something. You know, I guess she felt like she couldn't parlay that soccer career into much. But then she did say that she was like quote unquote in love with the dude, and she dropped everything for him to move where he was and all that stuff too. So I think in a way maybe she may have gotten quote unquote got one time, and then she was like, "No, I ain't gonna go through this again." And then she, wind up kind of like becoming the person who gets other folks now, right? Kind of like the victim becoming the victimizer, right? Which does happen, right? But I don't want to go on for too long about this. I said what I gotta say for the time being, but let me know what you think about all of this stuff in the comments section. And to the next video, adios and goodbye for now.